back and have a look at the French newspapers now. Diptyque Laurent is with us here on set for that. And the media today really still looking for answers after this murder of a French priest.
That's right, Stuart. After the shock, now come the questions and emotions. That's a headline from Le Parisien this morning. That emotion, of course, came yesterday from a service at the Notre Dame Cathedral that reunited not just hundreds of people of diverse faiths, but also French MPs on both the right and left who appeared to put aside their squabbling, at least for a moment of unity after the murder of Father Jacques Hamel.
Could be a little bit short-lived, that unity, Dipty. Le Parisien reporting that French intelligence may have known about an impending attack right back last Friday, in fact.
Well, it could be another impending scandal. Le Parisien reports that allegedly French interior intelligence were informed of an impending attack 4 days before Father Jacques was murdered after a threat against France was published online. Now, that alert came from a foreign intelligence service who alerted French authorities about the possibility of a, quote, young man with a thin beard, so a very general description, who was potentially going to commit a terrorist attack. That man, according to Le Parisien, could be Abdel Malik P, who actually appeared in a video last night published by the IS group, who could be the second attacker. Now, that video, Le Nouvel Observateur, is also talking about it. They say it lasted about a minute, and in which two men pledged allegiance to the IS group. The video shows an individual identical to the photo of an individual in a wanted notice published by French authorities last week. This young man was never charged, but he was on the Fiche S list, that famous list that regroups people who pose a threat to national security.
And the revelations, of course, no doubt fanning the flames then of the heated debate about how much the French government has done to detain individuals suspected of radicalisation there.
Well, we know one of the attackers was out on conditional bail wearing an ankle bracelet after attempting twice to get to Syria. Now, since the Nice attacks, we've seen the government and French legal system really come under fire over its perceived lax approach to security and allegedly for being just too soft on people suspected of terrorism. Now, for L'Opinion, the right-wing paper, it's a French legal system that's placed under formal investigation, La Justice mise en examen on its front page. The issues that politicians and France as a country are grappling with now are: should individual freedoms be curbed to a certain extent in order to guarantee national security? And are judges simply too independent in their decision-making?
Another right-wing paper looking at this as well. This is in Le Figaro, isn't it?
Well, Le Figaro says the French justice has been disarmed, quote unquote, when it comes to the subject of terrorism. The paper actually reminds readers that Nicolas Sarkozy's Les Républicains party, but also certain magistrates and lawyers, are calling for a, quote, profound criminal law reform that should be better adapted to this new terror threat that we're dealing with right now, even if that means changing the constitution. But this is something that François Hollande has been vehemently opposed to. Now, Le Figaro has penned quite an interesting editorial in which it says, just for background, the word anticonstitutionnellement is the longest word in French. So Le Figaro says anticonstitutionnellement, meaning obviously anti-constitutional, is not just the longest word in France, but today it's quickly becoming the most used word in French politics. And the paper accuses the right-wing paper accuses the socialist government of using this word anticonstitutionnel in order to hush debate on the possibility of law reform.
It's so long it takes too long to say it, doesn't it? I mean, the government insisting, though, that personal freedom really should not be sacrificed just in the name of security here.
Well, this is an argument that Libération, not surprisingly, the left-leaning paper, has been putting forward quite a bit, Stuart. You see it on their front page. They've used a play on words type of headline, de l'état de droit à l'état de droite. So I'll translate l'état de droit, meaning a country of law, is a country of law moving towards a l'état de droite, which is actually a country towards the right. So obviously that play on words there. The paper really defends the government's choice, saying it needs to avoid making laws made under emotion, under pressure after these sort of tragic events. Now, Libé also accuses MPs on the right of using these issues to try and make advances ahead of next year's presidential election. I want to show you this cartoon from Willem in Libé that portrays Nicolas Sarkozy as a vulture who's sort of encircling Marine Le Pen, a really damning observation on how the right is now pandering to the far right ahead of next year.
A lot of the papers also looking at what on earth we can do to fight terrorism here.
That's what L'Humanité, the communist paper, is asking this morning. How do we fight this? I think it's a question that really resonates with everyone. La Croix is also, the Catholic paper, is also asking the same question. What more can we do? At least from a journalistic perspective, La Croix is taking action. It announces in this editorial its decision in the future not to publish the names of alleged terrorists. Of course, that's a decision that we here at France 24 have also made, and certain French newspapers like Le Monde, really in the goal of not giving these people posthumous glory.
Okay, that's a decision, that's been announced by a lot of the media here in France. Thank you very much, Dipti with the French papers on France 24.